I'm putting back in place together this older Shimano free hub. I do have a video, check my channel, how to dismantle it. Now this is putting back in place. So there's two sets of ball bearings. Each has 25 balls, so be sure to count them right. It's the same size of balls. And I did put a little bit of grease here. At the bottom is going to be the first set. And also put a little bit of grease perhaps inside where you have the small 2 clicks poles that will run in there. Not too much grease. I will recommend don't over grease it because the clicks are not going to work. So just a tad of grease. And then I will just grab this piece. You notice I did put grease at the bottom of this piece here and the bearings are sitting in there. So I'm just sliding the outer piece, just match it with the 2 poles. Once it's like this, just grab it and keep it in place. Don't drop the inner piece because it wants to slide down. Just reverse it like this and bring this other piece. Notice this one is upside down. The bearings are already placed in there. Just slide it over it. And then we try to just secure that piece from sliding back. Just keep it with maybe a screwdriver. Keep the 2, when you're rotating like this, keep the bottom again not so it doesn't drop, and you have all the bearings are sitting in place. This one too. The upper set of bearings is underneath this locking ring. The bottom one, let me just keep it. The bottom one, it's here in between these 2. So I'm keeping them together until you tighten them. The upper one piece is a locking ring and it's reverse thread. So it's going to be, you thread in counterclockwise, not clockwise. Remember that thing. You may try a few times until it kind of grabs the threads. And also keep a finger on the bottom piece to prevent it from rotating it while you try to screw this thing in. Of course, perhaps you already seen my other video where I did describe a little bit how I fabricate that tool to secure this guy. Check my other video how to get it. And you may want to keep again this one from rotating. And just be sure it's hand tight. And then to final tighten it, you are going to install this on the well. So engage it on the well gear, just like that. Keep the well from rotating and tighten this guy down. It has some force to it. I would say not too strong because you don't have a lot of threads there, but it has to be tight. And that's how you get it. And also don't forget the 2 spacers which are in there. Check my other video to just get an idea how they are seated. Before you place the bigger bearings here on top of the locking piece, these are the bearings for the axle, for the cones. Be sure to secure the free hub to the well with this piece. So get the piece in there, tighten it down. I did use a T55. Make sure you secure it and then put the well horizontally and only then add the bearings. Because if you add first the bearings and then you try to pass this tool, it's not going to pass. When you sit all the bars in there, you have to engage and drop this. At least on this model, it's a metal cap dust cap. So you have to drop it on top of the bearings. I suggest you do this on the last place because otherwise it's going to be hard to insert the bearings in there. You really want not to exaggerate too much grease on those poles because too much will get them sticking. You want to hear that click. If you don't hear that click, just put it on the well and spin it for a while until you hear the click. I'm now attaching the free hub to the well, and you know you have that cylinder that goes inside. Now careful with one thing, because that cylinder is steel and the hub of the well is aluminum. It's an alloy which is much softer than the steel, so you cannot put a lot of torque on it. Very careful. It's completely different than the cassette locking ring, which is steel on steel. I'm trying to tighten it down to give you an idea how much I would rotate this ratchet. It's a small ratchet, so let's just imagine I'm turning it and then it stops. So from this point on, I'm applying the torque. I just align the ratchet to put it maybe horizontally, give you an idea how much I will rotate it. So let's just go. And I will stop here, and that's it. It's really not much rotation. I would say maybe 15 degrees or so. Let me just rotate it back to give you an idea how much that was. Not much more than that. And if you want a value, maybe if you have a torque wrench or so, like such, I will estimate it's about 10 to 15 foot-pounds. So it's really not a lot. Very, very, very careful. Don't forget that cylinder has threads on it. Clean them with alcohol before inserting it, because grease on that cylinder will just cause the torque to feel lighter, but it puts even more stress on the threads and on the aluminum, and it can just rip off. It will just shear off the threads inside the hub, and basically that will ruin the weld forever. So careful with this aspect. Tighten it, but don't overdo it. And actually, when you turn it, when I was turning the wrench, it feels like it goes with a little bit of force, and at some point it felt like it wanted to stop there. So that's the stop point. It's not a lot of force, it's just very smooth force, and then you stop at that point. Don't go further.